Thank you everyone for joining us today here at the Levittown Public Library, Ask with Kim. Today's Monday, August 2nd, approximately 11 a.m. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, we are going to start out doing some stuff on the floor today. Oh yeah, I forgot. Some of you might be watching this video afterwards and you might be new. So welcome to Agasku. It just means posture. We're going to do a lot of stuff to stimulate your body so that it can reorganize itself. If anything doesn't work out for you today, don't do it. I'll give you as many modifications as I can while I get my watch. And I am thinking of you, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't think of yourself. So if something does not work out for you, if it hurts, if this is not right, or you're feeling dizzy, or you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta make these judgment calls on your own. So just remember, I don't live in your body, you do. And don't make yourself sorry. But also, you wanna challenge yourself within your own limitations. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid either. Let your body tell you what's going on. So today we're going to start out doing ankle circles, point flexes. We're going to lay down on our backs to do that. You can do that in many different positions. You can do it sitting in a chair. So if you can't get on the floor today, you're just going to do this sitting in your chair. The way I do it when I lay down is I make sure that my legs are in line with my hips. I'm going to turn towards the camera in a different angle so you can see that. Your legs are in line with your hips. So it's about a fist's distance between my big toes. You want to keep that alignment. This is what we're going for. If we let the leg come out to the side and we do it here, we're not training the muscles to hold you in alignment. So we really want to stimulate certain muscles. And I won't bore you with all of that, but that's where we're at. So we're going to leave the left leg straight out on the floor, and I'm going to point my toes to the sky. I'm doing that from my hip, everybody. So I'm not letting my leg flop out. I'm doing it from my hip. I'm pointing my knee and my toes towards the sky. I'm hugging my right knee in towards my chest. If you can't do that, you can use a strap. Put it around your leg and hold your leg in as tightly as you can. Keep it in line with your hip. I'm moving just through my ankle. Big circles. I'm going to go 40. If you cannot do 40, do 2. Oh, is that too little? Not enough challenge? Well, then do 10 or do 20. I want you guys to try and get these circles as big as you can and move your toes. Let them initiate the movement. Some places where people go wrong is they drop their heel way too low. So you see how my heel is pretty close to my butt? That's actually going to turn off the muscles in your hips. So I want you to keep your shin parallel to the floor while you do this move. You're going to feel a lot more work in your hip when you do that, and that's the key. What we're doing in this move is we're simulating the position of walking or running. One hip is in flexion, the other hip is in extension. This is also hopefully creating some pelvic separation. You have 2 sides of your pelvis, and those should separate while you run and walk too. But for most of us, they stay stuck to some degree and they don't separate. I'm going to circle in the other direction. One direction is going to feel easier than the other. It's okay if you don't have a full circle. It might feel jerky or robotic, or it might feel crunchy or cracking, and that's okay. As long as you don't feel the bad pain, don't worry about different sensations that you have. This is new. A lot of people I've seen who don't move their ankles well start moving from their knee. You see how I'm moving my knee? I'm actually moving my knee and my hip to get the circle done. Keep your knee still. Move only through your ankle. If this is really difficult for you and you are on the floor and you're okay, you can put your leg up on top of a chair if holding your leg in this position is too hard. So I have done this in the static back position. We're going to do static back at the end today, if I remember. Point flexes, everybody. Point your toes away from you and then pull your toes towards you. This is a movement through the ankle. It's called plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Remember the leg that's on the floor. You want to keep your kneecap and your toes pointed to the sky. Don't let that leg flop out. So you're actually engaging your secondary hip flexor muscle, which is called the tensor fasciae latae. And I'm sure you guys feel it when you turn the leg in. It's right where your front pocket would be in your jeans. That's where that muscle is. We want to engage that muscle on the leg that's on the floor. You want to use that muscle to keep your knee pointed to the sky. Don't let it flop out. Again, if you're new to this, your ankle probably burns, your shin probably burns, maybe your calf is killing you. You can give it a break, or you can keep pushing through. Whatever it is. Brian Bradley loves to say, welcome to muscles that don't work. And I laugh about that because I know you guys are in pain and that's what I thrive on. I'm going to switch the legs, everyone. So I'm pulling in my left knee. Again, I'm making sure my right leg isn't flopping out. I'm pointing my toes and my knee to the sky using that muscle right here. Hold it there. Pulling my left knee deep in. Don't let the knee come out. Remember what I showed you from that other camera angle? Keep your knee in line with your hip. Big circles. My shin is staying parallel to the floor. Don't let your heel drop to your butt. Shin stays parallel to the floor. This one's always been my tougher side. It takes a little bit of focus for me to keep a really good circle. Why is that? Because my body loves to lean on my right leg. It's more balanced on that leg. I'm more aligned on that leg. This side, I've got a little bit of a hip elevation, something else going on in my pelvis. I won't bore you with that, but it has a hard time communicating down to the ankle. So this is a really tough exercise for me to keep in a smooth circle. I really have to think about it. Good, I'm gonna circle in the other direction. Do your best to get up to 40. I might have skimped on that one. I'm not quite sure, but I've been doing this so many years. I can time myself while I talk and figure out, yeah, that's probably 40 right now. So pardon me if I skimp a little bit. Oh, gosh, getting tired already. Yeah, this one's a toughie. So if I wasn't leading this class, I might actually wine myself out here, not drink wine, but just be a wuss and give myself a break. But because I know you guys are watching, I'm going to keep hammering myself. Shake it out. It's getting really hard to create those inward circles. Any of you out there get that same feeling, maybe on the other leg? Wow, a circle's hard to do here. I want to move my knee. I want to move my hip. It's all right. You might need to take a little break and just kind of shake it out, just like I did. When I used to skydive a lot, this is back before they had all these indoor skydiving places. There was only one of them, and it was in Orlando. Point flex, everybody. It was in Orlando. All of us would kind of rent it out for an hour. Nobody can spend a whole hour in there and not be beat up. So we would take 5 of us and we'd all sit in there and we'd spend, 2 minutes on, 1 to 2 minutes on and off, and everybody would just keep on switching. Okay, you go in, 2 minutes, done, get out, you go in. And as you're learning these new skills, you'd kind of stink at it and you'd keep trying and trying and trying. But then the next day, after you've had a good night rest, you get back in the wind tunnel and all of a sudden it's like you're like a master. That's the nervous system. It takes a little while for it to kind of reorganize things and get these new perspectives and these new sensations and put them in a box so that it can now demonstrate it through your body. So that's the nervous system. What I mean by that is you need to take a break. So if this is getting difficult for you, just take a break, shake it out. It will get easier. Fantastic, everybody. We're going to get off of this. Bend both of your knees, which is going to feel much better on your hips. We're going to do knee drops. What I'd like you to do is actually test yourself out today and see, where do knee drops feel good to you and where do they feel beneficial to you? The wider you stance your feet, the more internal rotation we're going to get. The narrower you stance your feet, the more external rotation we're going to get. So I'm going to give you about 2 sets of 10, maybe go through a whole 20 here. Keep your feet parallel and try to keep your feet on the ground. One of my clients, she lifts up her balls of her feet and she pivots like this because her hips don't work. And I keep telling her, put your toes down, put your toes down. So you want to keep the balls of your feet partially touching the floor. You're going to go inner outer on each foot. So my instep and the outstep on the opposite feet are touching as I drop my knees back and forth. Keep driving this from your hips. One of my clients doesn't get it when I say that. She's just not cognitively aware and kinesthetically aware of her body. So we call them butt lifts because she keeps moving just from her knees. Ow, my knees hurt. Ow, my knees hurt. Think of driving from your butt, from your hip. Your butt is actually going to lift up off of the floor, but keep the shoulders on the floor. So check it out, everybody. Stance your feet in the wide position and then stance your feet in the narrow position. And where you feel there's a bit of a challenge and there's some work, beneficial work, I want you to stay there. If we're taking it from the postural perspective, and you know that your knees love to go internal, maybe stance your feet narrower so that the external rotation is more of your focus. If you know that your knees and your legs love to go external, then maybe you want to stance your feet wider so that the internal becomes more of the focus here. I am stealing this routine from someone else. We're going to come to the next movement, everyone. This one's called inner outer thighs. The whole of those moves that you can do sitting in a chair, but inner outer thighs, this one, if you can't do it laying down, you might want to stand up to do this. So we're going to lay on one side. I don't care which. If this gets really difficult, you don't have to prop yourself up on your elbow. You can lay down like this, but I want you to keep your foot parallel to the floor. I'm going to show you the other angle of this move so that you can see my ankle, knee, and hip and shoulder are all in the same line. That's what you want to do for this move. Tendency is for people to go wrong and start bringing their leg forward of their body and lifting here. I've even seen people start to kind of drop back like they're drinking a margarita and they start lifting here. You see how my pelvis is turned up towards the sky? You don't want that. You want to stay really stacked. So look down your body here, everybody. Look down it. If you're feeling wobbly, bend your bottom knee. I'm lifting my top leg. Just for you guys, we're just going to go in sets of 10. And then we're going to go to the inner thigh, which means we're going to take it to the bottom leg. You can bend your knee and put it on the floor, or to make it more challenging, put your foot on the floor and keep the knee pointing to the sky. My bottom leg now comes straight and I lift that up towards the sky. This is more awkward. This will feel easier. So again, if you cannot get on the floor, you're going to get this done standing. You're just going to raise your leg out to the side, and you're going to put your foot onto a chair and then raise your leg out to the side. You might have to hang on to some stuff, or you might have to skip it. Not every move is for every posture. I'm teaching a class, so I got to do the best I can. Back to the top leg, everybody. Keep your ankle dorsiflexed. So I'm not actually pointing my toes, no ballerina work here. I'm pulling my toes towards my knee. Not about how high you go. And it might be my camera angle, but I'm watching one of you and you're doing this with your foot. It might just be the camera angle. You're doing an outward rotation as you get higher. So you kind of hit this midpoint and you're doing this. If that's true, don't do it. I want you to think about lifting with your heel area first. Keep the toes down, much better. Inner thigh, bottom leg. Here we go. And I'm sure as you made that change, you probably went, oh, that's so much harder. That's how you know you're doing it right. You're welcome. You're welcome. This move is called inner outer thighs. And it's not a big deal if you're standing and you're just doing the outer thighs. That's okay. We're going to do more work that combines this effort. We're not going to skip anything. So don't worry if you can't do this laying on the floor. Go back to that top leg again. This is our last round. And then we've got the whole other side to do. So again, make sure, look down your legs, people. Make sure your toes aren't starting to turn up towards the sky. That means your hip is avoiding work and it's rotating out. You don't want that. Train it to remember. Foot goes straight. This is going to help how you walk, how you run, how you squat. It's going to turn on those muscles. We're going to flop over to, oh wait, no, we've got one more inner thigh. And then we're going to flop over to the other side. Bottom leg comes straight. These are not easy. They're not easy at all. In fact, you might be sweating like me. Okay, we're flopping over to our other side, everybody. We got the whole side to do on the other leg. Okay, make yourself nice and straight. Look down your body. If you're standing, stand nice and straight. Same idea, keep your feet pointed straight ahead. You want to keep your feet parallel to each other, whether you're standing or not. Feet stay parallel. And if you feel like you're flip-flopping, ooh, I'm gonna fall, bend your bottom knee. That'll widen your base of support and make it a little bit easier for you to get this work done. Knees stay straight, everybody. Knees stay straight. I'm gonna apologize now. I am gonna hammer you at the end of this session. I'm gonna give you one of Pete Egoscue's 15-minute workouts. Straighten your bottom leg. We're going to the inner thigh on the bottom leg. But what's beautiful is that he ends the workout with a static back. The other great thing is, if you don't like me narrating it, you don't like me taking you through the workout at the end today, you can listen to Pete take you through the workout. It's a lot of fun when he does it. I'm going back to the top leg again, everybody. Look down your leg, keep your foot parallel to the floor. Make sure your ankle, knee, and hip stay in line. Don't let that foot come forward. You don't want your leg to come forward, and you don't want your butt to start falling backwards towards the floor. Stay stacked. Stay stacked. So the workout that we're going to do at the end is going to involve some cats and dogs. It's going to involve some mountain climbers. It's going to involve some jumping. I am going to give you modifications. Bottom leg, everybody. Keep that knee nice and straight. Don't let the title of the workout scare you, but I do want to give you the title. So if you want to listen to Pete take you through it, it's called a high intensity workout. So if you look up Egoscue workout, you're going to find 75 to 80 workouts for Egoscue on YouTube. Top leg again. It's our last round. So when you look up Egoscue workout on YouTube, you're going to see all these different workouts. You're looking for the one that says high intensity, and there's a blonde lady with a ponytail. She's going to be doing the work while Pete narrates. Bottom leg, last one. Promise I'll give you a break after this. And if you're standing and you can't get down on the floor or you can't lay down, you can definitely get frog, which is our next move. You can get that done sitting in a chair. All you have to do is put the soles of your feet together, maybe put a chair or a table or an ottoman in front of you. You can definitely get it done in the seated position. Great, everybody. 2-minute break. We're going to come to the frog position. So I lay on my back, I take the soles of my feet together, and my knees flop out to the sides. I've noticed people think that my knees are hitting the floor. They're not. I just have that range of motion in my hips. They're not hitting the floor. Don't try to get them to hit the floor if they're not going. And if you're sitting in a chair, you can do it this way. I don't care if your knees look like this or like this, they will right themselves. So 2 minutes. That feel a little bit better on your hips? It still kind of hurts, and it's going to keep hurting because we just gave it a workout. And the funny thing is, when you do that in a therapy session, you don't get them in sets of 10, you get them in sets of 20. Yeah. Some of you that have taken my classes in the past, I've given it to you in sets of 20. I was dying right there with you. Ugh, it's hard. There's a lot of weight to the leg. This might not be a comfortable position for you. If you've noticed, ooh, this is not right for me, you can go ahead and point your knees to the sky. You can come into what we call the hook lying position. You can rest your legs on top of a chair. That's our static back position. Frog position is not always something that's comfortable to everyone. About one more minute, everybody. And we got a few more nice stretchy moves. This routine I took from a fellow therapist. Her name is Marianne Berry. Some of you have heard me mention her before. She's over in California, a really nice lady. She knows her stuff. What is her website? It is she Realign? I think she's Realign Therapy. She's a good lady. Very nice, everybody. We're going into crossover stretch. So you're going to bring your arms out to a T with your palms face down. Again, if you're sitting on a chair, you can definitely get this done sitting on a chair. I'll show you how. Come to the hook line position, feet flat on the floor. Keep your feet in line with your hips to start. I don't want to see anybody being really sloppy with their form. This is about posture, right? So fix it. I want you to keep your feet pointed straight ahead. Keep your knees hip distance and your feet as well. And across the right ankle to the left knee. Some of you might not be able to come farther than that. If that's all you got, then stay there. Ready to come the rest of the way with me? You're going to twist through your lower back and let your legs fall to the floor. Notice my left foot is not sliding. I'm just rotating and my left leg hits the floor at the same time as my right foot. You might be stuck here. That's okay. Hang out there for 1 minute. I can take it all the way to the floor, but I don't want you guys sliding your leg on the ground in order to hit the floor. I don't want you guys to be focusing on, oh, I have to get to the floor by any means. Even though you're not thinking of it, that's our psychology. Just as Americans, we've been brought up to get the A, right? Oh, you're not 100%, you're 80%, you're 70%. We want to go, 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 get it, get it, get it, get it. And that's not what this is about. We need to make that progress. So you got to be okay where you're at and let the body relax into it. No cheating on your form. We are going to switch sides, everybody. Before you come into the move, I want you to be really clean with your form again. Line your feet up in line with your hips. Feet are parallel. Cross the ankle to the knee. If you're doing this in a chair, you just cross the ankle to the knee in the chair, and then you twist your upper body. Let your legs fall towards the floor. I am going to get up and demonstrate how to do this in a chair for everybody who's modifying. And no doubt you're going to be watching this video over and over and over again because you love it so much. So good for you. Doing this in a chair. I mean, just get creative. Cross your ankle over. Twist. Simple as that. Simple as that, everybody. Very good. Give me 15 more seconds. Stay in the stretch. Just keep breathing wherever you're at. If you are one of those people who has some wrist pain, we're going to do cats and dogs next. You're going to come onto your hands and knees, and you could come onto your fists. So if you hold your fists in this orientation, it's going to keep your wrists straight. You're not going to create any amount of flexion. So you can do that to help your wrists. You can also do it on your elbows, or you can sit in a chair and get it done the same way. Put your knees in line with your hips, hands in line with your shoulders, arch your back, Make sure your shoulders try to get some movement in there. Everybody tends to get stuck because they're trying to look forward, and that'll jam up your upper back sometimes. So if that's happening to you and you're noticing, wow, I don't get that movement that Kim has in her shoulders with the protraction and retraction, try not to look up too high. Maybe keep your neck out of it until you train your shoulders to get that movement. Then you can let the head complete the movement. I'm initiating this back and forth arching from my hips. Might not look like it because I tend to bend like a suitcase right here in the middle. Everybody's got different posture issues. That's my posture issue. I bend like a suitcase right there. We're going to do arm leg opposite lifts next. If you can't do this on your hands and knees, you could do it standing. It's going to look kind of like a slow skip. Come on, hands and knees. I'm going to reach my right arm forward. I'm going to reach my left leg back. If I don't have the balance just yet, I'm going to keep my toes on the floor. If I do have the balance, I'm going to lift the leg and switch. Left arm, right leg. I'm going to show you this from behind because I want you guys to see where you're going to go wrong. When you lose your balance, your leg is going to do this. It's going to come in to help you. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep your ankles in line with your knees. So look between your legs, everybody, and make sure that your ankles stay in line with your knees. You should not see your ankles. You can definitely get this done when you're standing. It might look something like this. That's okay. It's not quite the same motion, but we're still achieving similar results. How much longer are we going to do this, Kim? Until morale improves, everyone. The beatings will continue until morale improves. The old captain's coming out of me. Sorry, everybody. Let's do a few more. 1,000. Just because they feel so good. Does everybody feel that? When you reach your leg back, try not to bend your knee. So what we're looking for here is extension coming from the hip. So if your knee has a tendency to bend, maybe keep it lower, try to straighten the knee and lift from there. I don't care if you go lower, but the point of this is trying to get extension from your hips. That means your butt. That means lower back and all sorts of extensor muscles all the way up your back. Come on down, everybody. We're going to do upper spinal floor twists, some of your favorite moves, right? Before I get on the floor, I'm going to show you how to do it on a chair. Super easy. It's just a sitting chair twist. You're going to sit, twist your upper body. But I want you to keep your knees in line. If your knees start slipping and you do something that looks like this, I want you to put a block or a pillow in between your knees to hold them in place. I'm going to the floor though, everybody. So I'm going to hold myself on my right side. Stay nice and stacked, 90 degrees. Arms straight out in front, hips, knees, 90. I'm going to hold my knees there, just like I demonstrated on the chair. You want to keep your knees in the same stack, right here on top of each other. My top arm opens like a book. See that nice alignment? Wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, straight line, twisting open. 1 minute. This is my ugly side because I had a little bit of surgery in there, so things are still a little tight. If this is too much for you and you can't bear this, maybe you got a shoulder injury, you can bend the elbow. You can rest the hand on your ribs. You could rest the arm on a bunch of pillows that you pile up. Heck, you could lay on the floor and put a couch behind you and rest your arm on the couch. The point of this move is to retrain the upper body. That's why it's upper spinal floor twist. Retrain the upper tissues in the body to twist independently of the lower half, even though that's not what's happening. The body works as a unit. It's not really independent, but we want to hold the lower half in place, retrain the tissues up here to rotate. We're rotating our structure. Stay focused on your form. going to switch to the other side. Get a nice clean setup. My knees are completely stacked. Top arm, we're opening like a book. In a perfect world, you're going to be looking towards where your hand is opening. Doesn't always feel good to everybody's neck, so it's all right to look straight up towards the ceiling if that's okay. If it's not okay, just leave your nose pointed towards the floor. That's what I meant earlier when I said we're going to let your body tell you what's right for you today and what's not. You always got to listen to your body. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. I don't live in your body. Gosh, I wish my other arm did it this well. It's frustrating, these hindrances. I'm going to show you guys pelvic tilts. This is like the cats and dogs that we did on hands and knees, except we're just doing our pelvis. So I'm laying on the back. You can go back to cats and dogs sitting in a chair if you are. I'm laying on my back and I'm just going to rock my pelvis back and forth. The same thing that I did when I was on hands and knees, except I'm leaving my shoulders relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. And then I'm going to hit you with a little bit of heat right after this. Just a little bit of heat. If you know, take a look down. If you know that your knees love to drop out, or if you're looking down and your knees love to drop in towards each other, I want you to go grab a pillow off of your bed or grab your block, because we're going to do the next 2 exercises and I want your knees to stay in line with your hips. We need to keep those muscles engaged in order to hold you straight. So if that's happening to you, you're going to take that pillow, fold it in half, put it in between your legs. We are going to do crunches. We are also going to do bridges. So again, this is what it might look like if your knees tend to go out or if your knees tend to drop in. You're going to put something in between them to hold them in line. For our crunches, I want you to interlace your hands behind your head and draw your elbows to the floor. Ooh, I'm almost there. Okay, like I told you, my shoulder is going to look a little ugly. It's not quite there yet. So you're going to draw your elbows to the floor. Does everybody feel that engagement in their back when they draw their elbows to the floor? I want you to keep that engagement while you go through the crunch. This is not a normal style crunch where you round your upper back and you reach your elbows to your knees. No, this is a Goscue style. So find a point on the ceiling behind you. A smudge, a nail, I don't care what it is. Keep looking at it and don't lose it. You're going to lift off the floor 2 to 6 inches. Your shoulders might not even come up off the floor. You might just engage and feel something and never pick up off the floor. That's okay. Elbows stay towards the floor. Find that spot on the ceiling, everybody. Lift your upper body as a unit. Lift, lower. Do less to do more. 24. 23, 22, 21. In a perfect world, your elbows will hit the floor before your hands or your head or your back. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Can't do that many? Do 1. 13, 12. This is not a lift of your heads. Don't get your arms involved. That's why your elbows need to stay back and down. They stay engaged. Shoulder blades stay engaged. This should be a pull from your abdomen. That's its job. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I wasn't kidding when I said 2 to 6 inches. It's a little lift. 3, 2, 1. Relax. That's it. 25 crunches. That was Egoscue style. Unfortunately, I can't be with you in your homes, so I can't whip you with a wet noodle if you're screwing up, but it's all right. We're stimulating the body and the body's self-adjusting. We go into bridges now. Like I said, if your knees go in or they go out, put something between your knees. You're going to squeeze off 25 bridges. Make sure your feet are as far away from you as they would be in static back. Tendency is to bring your heels way too close to your butt, and that actually turns off your butt. So keep your feet far enough away so that you kind of have a 90-degree angle. How are you going to know if that's right? Well, if you pick your butt up off of the floor and you notice all I feel is my thighs, I don't feel my back, I don't feel my butt, I don't feel my hamstring, your feet are probably too close. 25, 24, 23. Yes, my toes are staying down. 22, 21, 20, 19. Yes, your thighs will be involved, but I do want your butt involved, your hamstrings, your back. 18, 17, 16, 15. You guys keep going. My book fell down. I need Marianne's lessons here. Oh, there we go. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, everybody. Great job. Marianne slams you right into crunch with hip flexors, but we're not going to have enough time to do that and my hardcore workout. So I'm going to skip a little bit. I'm going to give you a static extension position. I'm going to come to hands and knees. Can't do that. You're going to put your hands on the wall and get it done the same way. I'm going to put my hands 6 inches forward, 6 inches forward. Shift my weight forward. There's just a little difference between my knees and my hips. My hips are 6 inches forward of my knees. That's it. Drop your shoulder blades together. Let your head fall. Let your belly fall. We're thinking sway back horse here. If you're getting this done against the wall, it's going to look like this. You're going to be in more of a plank kind of position, but you're going to let your shoulder blades trap themselves behind. I'm going to hold here for 2 minutes, friends. 2 minutes. There are so many different ways to get this work done. In the past, I've shown you static extension. This is static extension position. Static extension is putting your knees up maybe 10 inches higher. So I kneel on a chair or this block that's in front of me. You can do this on your elbows, on your fists. Again, keep looking through your knees. Make sure you cannot see your ankles. If you see your ankles, you're doing that funny rotation thing with your hip because your hip does not want to load. So I want you to keep your ankles spaced as widely apart as your hips and your knees. If you cannot stand the 2 minutes with me, do 10 seconds. And I say that with a bit of a chuckle because I know anybody can get this thing done in 10 seconds. So you're going to push yourself to go a little bit more. Maybe you'll do 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I always laugh at myself when I say, you can't do 10 push-ups, do 1. Anybody could do 1 push-up. I don't care how crappy it looks. And once you do 1 push-up, you'll say, maybe I could do 2. Before you know it, you're doing 5. Fantastic. From here, we're going to do the kneeling groin stretch. So for those of you that have a tough time balancing, I want you guys to get a chair in front of you or something in front of you. One of my other clients, he can barely get this move done. So you're going to put something in front of you. We're doing this from the kneeling position. I want you to lunge your right leg forward. I'm staying in line with my hip. Again, lunge your right leg forward so it's where your right hand was. In a perfect world, you'll be able to balance well enough to hold yourself in place. But some of you might not have that, so you're going to have to hang on to a chair if that's you. So from hands and knees, You lunge your right leg forward. Can this be done standing? Absolutely. So you might have to hang on to something in front of you. If you don't, push your hands on your knee, press your upper body upright, and I want you to create a posterior tilt in your pelvis. You're going to tuck under to help get a little bit more stretch in your left hip. 1 minute, please. Again, if you're not doing this on hands and knees and you want to get this done in a standing position, you could hook your foot on a chair behind you, hang on to a wall or something. Here you go. You could start there. You might go higher, you might go lower. You're going to start there. This is our kneeling groin stretch. Try to keep your pelvis square forward. There is that tendency to kind of sit into one of your hips, keep it square. That's why I want you to kind of tuck under with both sides of your pelvis. That's going to help square it forward. Switch your side. Make sure that when you look in between where your legs were, that you cannot see your ankle. You don't want your ankle to come in. It's going to do that to help balance you, but we want the balance to come from the hip. So in order to challenge it, we're going to keep that base narrow. Your knee stays in line with your ankle. If your ankle comes off of that line, then you're making the base even wider and you're not allowing the hip to turn on the muscles. I'm going to give you a bit of a shortened version of the high intensity workout because I dare not go overtime. Your time is valuable, as is mine, and I do not want to go overtime because they'll probably fire me at the library. No, I'm very wary of that time. Come on out, everybody. Okay, we're going to do a cats and dogs, and then we're going to come to a standing position because I'm going to take you into that high intensity workout. Remember, cats and dogs can be done sitting in a chair. We are going to start out doing some jumping, but if you can't jump, you just turn it into a step. Don't you dare give up on me and say, Kim's workouts are too hard. I can't do that. You stand yourself up and you turn it into a step. You do something. I know it's not you guys because you guys show up every week for me. It's crazy. You're glutton for punishment. You guys don't do that. But I know some people who might be new to me out there might tell themselves that. Well, I can't do this. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth. You can't do that. Step, step, step. Like you're getting into a, I don't know, a French bathtub. Step, 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 step. I'm going to turn it into a jump. So I'm going to give myself 10 jumps. These are lateral jumps. Again, you can't jump, turn it into a step. Maybe turn it into a hop. You can hop. I'm going to go right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center. Down to you guys. Every time I come back to that center, I'm going to count it as a half because I got to go right and I got to go left. I don't care what you guys get done. Modify it. Have fun. Smile. Do what you can. Okay. No stompy elephant. Try to be light. Floor is hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're done. It's as simple as that. I saw some of you guys doing a step. Good for you. Step out, step in. Step out, step in. Excellent. We're going to go for mountain climbers next. If you cannot get onto the floor, sorry, getting out of breath, that should have spiked your heart rate. So if you can't get onto the floor and do mountain climbers, you're going to put your hands on the wall. You're going to put your hands on a chair. I will demonstrate. Mountain climbers they're more about getting your back leg back than they are about getting your front leg forward. So it's a step I'm going to turn it into a hop, of course. Keep your knee in line with your hip. Tendency is to kind of go outside your leg. Don't do it. I don't care if you even come a couple inches forward. Keep your knee in line with your hip. That's the challenge. My mountain climbers look like this. Yours might look like this. Drop, drop. It's about getting that back leg straight and back. For those of you on the wall, here you go. Step the leg forward, lean in. Step the leg forward, lean in. See how straight my back leg is? You're gonna feel a stretch. You're gonna feel some work. I'm squeezing off 20. You do what you can, even if you're on a chair. Lean in, or switch, switch. Got it? Mountain climbers, here we go. I'm going for 20. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Knee inside of your elbow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody okay? Still with me? Nobody signed off? Told you this was going to be a little intense, but if you're doing it against the wall, not so intense. So dial it back wherever you want. Push-ups. Give me 5. Idea with the push-ups is, remember the static extension position? Shoulders stay back and down. We're going to hold there, then come into your plank. Shoulders stay back and down. Can't do a push-up? Stay here. You can do this on the wall. Hands on wall, shoulders back and down. Stay there. Push up. I don't care if you do it on the wall, do it on the floor, do it on a chair. Get it done. Just 5. You can go very shallow too. My push-ups suck nowadays. So drop your shoulders together. Keep it there. Thighs tight. Push up. 5. Oh, my left shoulder is so weak, but I'm right there with you. 3, 2, 1. Oh, very good, everybody. Walk around 1 minute. 1 minute. Yes, Pete does have a walk around sequence. In this sequence, you want to pay attention to your feet. So I want you to really force your feet to point straight ahead while you walk around. Force your feet and your knees to point straight ahead. This is a really cute sequence. That's why I'm giving it to you guys. Anybody can do it, unless you're bedridden. Even the lady that I work with who's in a wheelchair, she does her push-ups. We modify, but she does them. She does her sit-ups. So you got to get creative sometimes. Whew. We're going to take it into an air bench, and then we're going to do an air bench walk. Make sure that if you're leaning on a door, if you don't have a wall, I have a wall here. If you don't have a wall and you're leaning on a door, that you're leaning on the door in the way that it's coming into the closed position up against the door jamb. You don't want to put pressure on the lock and the mechanism, because if it fails, you're going to fall through the open door. 1 minute air bench. You're going to put your back against the wall, keep your feet hip distance, slide down enough so you feel, woo, there's that challenge, and push your lower back into the wall. Keep your feet away from you further than your knees are. There's a reason for that. Trying to turn on the thighs to slam the femurs into the pelvis, which is actually straightening the pelvis in a strong and forceful way. From the front, it looks like this. Timer is going, everybody. Don't let your knees flop out or go in. If that's happening, put a block in between your knees. I am not leaning on my thighs with my hands. I'm just resting. In fact, I should be here so that you guys don't get the idea, oh, I'll do this. The next part of this is really tough. I'm not expecting everybody to get it. If you don't, just watch me and laugh and say, yeah, one day I'll get that, but I want you to give it a try. If it's too hard for you to do, you might do it in a chair, but I'm going to do it in the air bench position. I might need a little bit of help. These are called air bench walks. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. You're going to lift your leg up towards your chest, knee towards your chest, knee towards your chest. You might need to put your hands on the wall for a little bit of help. If you can't get this done, sit in a chair. It's basically what I'm doing anyway. Air bench walks. If I give you much more, we're not going to be able to create our static back. So I'm going to give you one more realigning move, and then we're going to take it into static back, and I'll let you guys rest. Keep your knees in line with your hips while you do this. Very good. Come on off. So we're only missing 1, 2, 3, 4 moves, which you can find on YouTube, the way I told you. We're going to come into the hands and knees and do some cats and dogs. Can't do that, do it on your chair. You know it. Does everybody feel a little invigorated? Those jumps and the mountain climbers, I hope they really gave your heart rate a nice spike and you have some sweat going. Hopefully you realize that your shoulders are moving different. If you don't, that's okay. Maybe you got a little bit more movement out of your pelvis, maybe. And take you guys into static back. Heart rate is definitely coming down. See, I'm able to talk now. I don't have to talk between gasping breaths anymore. You're going to lay down on your back and you're going to put your legs up into your static back position. Can't do that. You can certainly sit on a chair and put your back either up against the wall or sit very upright in the chair using the back of the chair to hold you there. If your head is pointed backwards towards the wall behind you, it's probably due to your shoulders still in a rounded position. If that's happening, I want you to put a little bit of a pillow underneath your head. So you really want your face to be neutral, parallel to the ceiling. If that's not happening as you're laying here in the first few seconds, then you need a pillow. So go ahead and put that pillow in so that it keeps your face staring up at the ceiling. Hang out here for maybe 2-3 minutes. So I definitely want to leave time for questions. I usually have them. Some of you guys stay a little bit longer. That's okay. I want to be there for you. There were more and tougher exercises that were coming up very, very next ones right after that cats and dogs. If you had a hard time a few weeks ago doing the V-ups, like lifting your legs straight up to the sky from your hips, that's what we were going to do. We're going to do a sequence of V-ups and one leg ups. So if you had that issue, then doing the hip flexor sequence that I showed you about 3 weeks ago will definitely help prep you for that. Thank goodness the library videos these and puts them up on their YouTube so you can see that a few weeks ago. So again, if you want to do this complete workout, or I just skimped on 4 of the exercises, you're going to look up Egoscue workout on YouTube, and you're going to see the high intensity workout. There's 2 of them. One of them is with, I think it's a tennis athlete. The one you're looking for is with a blonde lady with a ponytail. High intensity. and you'll get some great input from Pete. He tells you why the exercises are being done, what's going on, and he's very lighthearted. Oh, this feels great. Does everybody else feel as good as I do? It's a nice cool day here in New York, but I hope you guys have some sweat going on. In fact, that's the name of one of Pete's other workouts, the break a sweat workout. You shouldn't get too bored when you've got all these things to do. Heading into our last minute, everybody. All right, take 3 breaths. I hope you enjoyed that workout. There wasn't one glute squeeze in that workout. But I did hit you a little bit hard. You guys survived. You're okay. I hope to see you again next week, everybody. Same time, same bat channel. Only here at the Levittown Library. Only place I like to be. Here with you. Any questions, comments, concerns? You can leave them in the YouTube video. And, as always, I'll be sure to avoid answering them. See you next time.